everyone, and welcome to my video. On August the 9th, we packed the family into the car and headed to the Yorkshire Wartime event. Now, I'm a big fan of tanks, my wife was along for the ride, and the kids, well, they were just hoping to see some big explosions. But I thought it was really important to teach them about war, and hopefully they grow up with the same kind of respect that people of our generation and older have. So, did it deliver for everyone? We're going to break it all down for you in this review. A family ticket for 2 adults and 3 children was £48, which we saw as good value for a day out. It's also possible to camp on site over the weekend. We didn't take that option because there's no electric hookups. We do like camping, but we also need our comforts. But it will suit some people, so I thought it was worth mentioning. Apparently in this year, 2025, was the first time this event was held at this venue, and it did seem that there were some teething issues getting everybody in. We arrived before the event started and it took us 50 minutes in the queue just to get in, and we did see a lot of older people struggling, and it wasn't a very nice experience on the way in. Plus we could hear all the gunfire and shows. It sounded like everybody was having a really good time, whilst the majority of people were stuck outside. When we did go for lunch, a couple of hours in, we did also notice the queue was still massive, and some people might have been waiting for 1 or 2 hours and missing a lot of the event. Hopefully this will run more smoothly next year and beyond as the organisers learn lesson from this year. Despite this, being surrounded by enthusiasts and veterans dressed in the full army gear helps transport you into the desired atmosphere. The effort people had gone to with their costumes was amazing, and it was so much bigger than we expected. The sight of people in 1940s clothing everywhere, it was total immersion. Shows take place all day in the large central arena that you can stand by and watch. We just caught the end of this one. Around the arena, it seemed to be divided into 2 main parts. The commercial side for buying food and drink and memorabilia, and the other side a series of military encampments and displays that really make it feel like you're walking into a British Army camp. The tents weren't pristine, they were weathered and practical, nestled amongst kit bags and crates of supplies. It was the tiny details that sold it. Mugs of probably cold tea resting on ammunition boxes, a soldier meticulously polishing his boots, and handwritten maps spread out on a crate. It felt lived in and authentic.
Yeah, the United Nations.
I particularly enjoyed seeing this display of guns, including this classic used by James Bond. Reenactors and veterans were more than happy to talk about the war with you and discuss their displays. And they would work hard to involve the children in the day where they could. Maybe my 4-year-old daughter enjoyed sitting on this machine gun a bit too much.
Are you shooting?
The children were fascinated by this stall showing the brutal realities of war, whilst at the same time receiving some education on the medics in the war, which meant a lot to me as my mum served in the Iraq War as a medic, so it was nice to educate them a bit about Grandma. The vehicle park was a lineup of iconic history, from rugged jeeps to sturdy lorries. Each one felt like a working tool that had just rolled out of the 1940s. Back in the main arena, we got to see many of these in action. These weren't all pristine showpieces. They were grimy, practical, and covered in authentic kit, telling the story of the everyday workhorse of the military. But as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, my main interest when it came to vehicles was tanks. And this show did not disappoint.
Why is it safe?
From the moment we stepped into the venue, the past wasn't just something you read about, it was something you could see and touch. And for me, the biggest, most undeniable pieces of that history were the tanks. Seeing them scattered across the fields, some static, some rumbling slowly past families with ice creams, was the most surreal and incredible clash of eras. For me, it immediately set the tone for the whole event. Meet this Valentine tank, one of the ingenious swimming tanks that helped turn the tide on D-Day. Seeing it up close, you can really appreciate the daring engineering. And then you have the M3A1 Stuart, the lightweight speedster of the Allied forces. Fast, agile, and often called the cavalry of the armoured divisions. And if you want to know what raw power sounds like, this is it. We got right up close and personal with these giants. And let me tell you, the girls' ear defenders weren't just a good idea, they were absolutely essential. You don't just hear these beasts, you feel them right in your chest. After making sure we had a photograph with almost every tank there, it was time to get some lunch. Being the thrifty family we are, we went back to the car and tucked into the pre-prepared packed lunch we'd made. When you enter the event, you get a wristband, which allows you to come and go as you please. So you don't have to worry about carrying a cool box around the site. We saw a couple more families with the same idea. There are a wide range of eateries on site though. Pizzas, donuts, pulled chicken, burgers, you name it, they seem to have a stall for every kind of food. Portaloos, synonymous with this kind of event, were plentiful and we wasn't left queuing for long. In the commercial side of the arena, it was predominantly stalls, but there were still more army vehicles and other memorabilia to see. This included some extra photo opportunities. You was able to sit in the cockpits of these planes for a small fee. No event is complete without stalls. From authentic kit you could actually collect, to replica medals and patches, right down to the perfect little toy soldier for the kids. It was a treasure trove for history buffs and a lifesaver for souvenir hunting parents. There was also a pub on site, selling pints around £6. I didn't consider that too unreasonable for this kind of event, so I might have treated myself to one. Events here went on into the evening, but unfortunately we couldn't take advantage of that as a young family, but I'm sure some of those staying on the campsite had stories to tell well into the evening.
It has a crane on the back as well for general purpose like engine lifts.
The showpiece event in the main arena is the live battle reenactment. But before the battlefield erupted, the main arena hosted a rolling parade of history. It was the calm before the storm, a chance to see these magnificent military workhorses in motion, and the perfect build-up to the main event we were all waiting for. The static Hellcat we saw earlier roared to life. Seeing this predator move was just incredible.
He's moving in now. So the arena, so the Hellcat will go into the arena literally any second now. There she is.
Now, picture facing this on the battlefield. You wouldn't see a heavy lumbering beast, you'd see a predator. The Hellcat was built for speed. That low, open top turret would be moving fast, almost gliding over the terrain, hunting for a firing position. It's not about brute armour, it's about a lightning fast ambush. One moment you see it, the next, that massive 76mm gun is swinging towards its target. And by then, it's already too late.
Everybody looks at the Hellcat, see this white scout, half track. You can see the similarity between.
This is what I call full immersion. Seeing the M3A1 Stuart up close is one thing, but getting covered in the dust it kicks up really brings the experience to life.
This big troop carrier. It's then followed by an M8 armoured.
Now this one feels like an old friend. Me and my son have spent countless hours in a virtual version of this exact machine in World of Tanks. To finally stand next to the real steel beast we've commanded so many times, it's a surreal and awesome feeling. Remember the static Valentine? Well, now it's showing us exactly what it's made of, powering up this hill. From a museum piece to a moving marvel. This is where you feel the real power. There was so much tank action to see. I will try and make a further video compiling more of the footage that I got. After an incredible day, it all comes down to this. The final showpiece is about to begin, and you are not going to want to miss this. All the crowds gather round, ready for the final battle reenactment. I would recommend getting into position quickly and bringing camping chairs if possible. We found the perfect spot, but by now the kids were a bit tired. However, the battle soon had them hyped. The atmosphere was amazing.
Hands over ears is a good idea, especially if you have young children or if you have pets.
I'll be quiet for a couple of minutes so you can enjoy.
There seems to be artillery fire coming onto the area. Eagles are only quite lightly armoured and don't provide much protection for the two. The Stug itself would make mincemeat of an M18. Onto the battlefield. So now more allies are coming in. More heavy artillery. So we have the British on our left-hand side. The Germans are taking casualties. The Stug is retiring. Very close to the original German hulk line. The Hellcat's taking a chance coming out there in such an exposed position, especially with these Stug. Whether he hit it down, I'm not sure. The Allied armour is creeping closer to the abandoned German position. The Germans are still keeping up their resistance. It looks as though the Stug may have taken a hit over on the right hand side. Stones behind the Stuart.
The noise, the smoke, the strategy. It was a total sensory overload. A powerful and at times sobering reminder of what these men and women faced. A truly spectacular tribute. The kids are wide-eyed, my ears are ringing, and we're all covered in a fine layer of dust. That was the ultimate live show. History, action and excitement all rolled into one. The perfect explosive end to our day. But the day had one more gift for us. As the Lancaster soared past, that unmistakable roar stopped everyone in their tracks. It was a moving tribute and a powerful, soaring end to our historical adventure. The sight and sound of the Lancaster Bomber dominating the sky. You can't script a moment more iconic than that. What an incredible day. Well, what can I say? From the incredible access, getting up close and personal with the tanks, something that definitely required the ear defenders, to the simply awesome spectacle of the battle reenactment, this day had it all. It was a perfect blend for our family. The kids loved the action and the stalls. I got my history fix geeking out over the Stug and other tanks, and we all shared that unforgettable moment as the Lancaster flew over. It was more than just a show, it was a living, breathing and incredibly powerful history lesson. A truly brilliant family day out that we won't forget. If you get the chance to go next year, we absolutely recommend it. Thanks for watching our adventure. Like and subscribe to be alerted to further footage from this show and to hear our thoughts on other thrifty days and holidays out with the family.